Welcome back. Oh, welcome back to the Virginia Democratic Small Business Caucus show, live here, coming out of Virginia, and we've got a fantastic show for you today. Oh yes. Oh, do not be down, my fellow Democrats. You all got to get with it. We got some beautiful stuff coming for you. And we've got a plan forward. Oh, yeah. I'm bringing it down just a little bit. I'm working here by myself, but we're getting things done. Let me tell you, Virginia, it's so beautiful to have you back here. Oh, so beautiful to have you back here. We got a great show happening today. I know some of the people, I know what happened yesterday, but listen. Hey, everybody says it's impossible until it gets done. You can take that quote from Nelson Mandela. They called him Madiba finally. Listen, folks, we are going to get some things done here in Virginia. We've had challenges, but guess what? Challenges happen everywhere. They happen everywhere. And what you got to know is, hey, today, here it is. Woo, today is no kidding, folks. This is Woke Wednesday, and you are here on the VADSBC show, the Virginia Democratic Small Business Caucus show, live right here in Virginia, and we're bringing it to you. I just want to say hello again. I know some of y'all are down. I started off with that, but listen, you're still here. You're still listening. You're still getting it done. And listen, folks, thank you for being here. Welcome back, Democrats. Welcome back, Small Business Caucus owners. Welcome back, folks who are soon to be small business owners, soon to be Democrats. Welcome back, all of my guests, all of the people who will support the things that we're trying to get done here in Virginia. And I'm telling you, we are still here. We got stuff to do. We got work to do. It's Woke Wednesday. Don't let them get you off track. Because you may not win every battle, but you will ultimately win the war if you stick with it. Like in business, you just must persist. There's going to be up times, and down times. But listen, as long as you're 6 feet up above the ground, that's always an up time as far as I'm concerned. Get up in the morning, your eyes open up, you're awake. Oh, I thank the Lord, I thank God. I say, whoo, it's time to get started, time to get the hustle on. You have to get your hustle on, okay? Listen, let me tell you right now, it's Woke Wednesday. We're glad to have you here. And as we always start off, we let you know that this COVID-19 thing is not over, folks. It's not over. We are still working hard trying to make sure everybody gets their shots. If you haven't been vaccinated, I'm telling you here on the VADSBC show live, get your vaccination. Do your due diligence. My reco is get those shots, and folks that need booster shots, get those booster shots. Folks who can get vaccination from 2 to 92, however age that the CDC and wherever the health HHS is telling you, go ahead and take care of your people. Stay here so we can continue to love on you. As we say, could it be love? We love on you here. We want you to be safe. We want you to remain here, fighting the good fight, enjoying your family, enjoying your friends, enjoying this beautiful country and world that we live in. So go ahead and get those shots. Get those shots. Oh, yeah, you need to get those shots. And folks, also, I'm telling you, we are still out here. We are not giving up. We are still fighting out here. And we're fighting out here to make sure we continue to get our voting rights. Voting rights, extremely important. Just going to hit it to you one time. Voting rights, there it is. You see it. It's time to make sure you have your voting rights. And you've got to have your voting rights, because without your voting rights, everything that you do in a democracy is foundational to voting. That is how you get things done here, by having the opportunity to vote for the people who support and believe in the things and the values that you and your family have. So make sure you're out there voting. Make sure you're supporting voting rights, because voting rights are foundational. We still have to continue to fight that fight, and there's a lot of things that have gone on with voting rights. And I know that this has gone through some different changes, some different manipulations, but listen, I just want to let you folks know, don't be discouraged. Be encouraged, because that's what I'm telling you to be encouraged. Because when you're encouraged, you can do the things you need to do. Let me review a little bit of history. We're talking about the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancements Act. That had been passed in the Congress. That's HR 4. Call to action is get out there and tell your congressmen and tell your congresswomen that you support the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. I don't care if they haven't passed it. You like what's in it. It puts preclearance back into it so that any laws that are going to get changed, they have to go through the Department of Justice first, and it has to happen at least 180 days prior to any election, along with other great stuff that's in there. You know, a lot of people have fought for voting rights in this country and have fought so you have the right for unfettered right to the voting, box, into your polls. You need all those things. And why is it important? Voting rights is foundational. You can't get anything done if you don't show up and vote. If you don't, so whoever shows up and votes in the greatest numbers, they're the ones who get their representatives into Congress. They're the ones who get their representatives into your local and state houses. So if that's how you get people in, that's how it's done in a democracy, then obviously you don't want anybody messing with your voting rights. Voting rights are like air. It's like breathing. You can't live if you don't have the ability to breathe. You can't participate in a democracy if you don't have the ability to vote. That is why people are working so hard to make sure you can not vote or make it as difficult as possible for you to vote. So we need you to get out there and support voting rights, folks, and stay on it. But there's been changes to this. Some other things that are going on with voting rights. You know, you had out there also the H.R. 1, which was the For the People's Act of 2021. A fantastic act that's out there expanding voting rights. A number of different things were in that bill that were very progressive. As you can see, those things are on the screen. Ban the purging of voting rolls, 2 weeks of voting for all voters, making the election day a holiday, among other things. Automatic same-day voting. All those particular things were in that bill that they're trying to get passed in the country and in the Congress on a federal level. All those things are all parts of voting rights. We've talked about that many times before. Voting rights are foundational. You can't participate in a democracy if you don't have the right to vote. So call your congressman and your congresswoman and tell them, I support voting rights. I support the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Say, I support H.R. 1, which is For the People Act. And the latest thing that they're working on too to get it out there is the bill that's in the Senate, which is the Freedom to Vote Act, which has fantastic things in it as well. It also has the ability for you to do same-day voting, the ability to establish automatic voter registration, 15 days of early voting, protecting and expanding the right to vote by mail. It has restoring rights to individuals who've been previously incarcerated, preventing partisan gerrymandering, and protecting voting people against intimidation when they're voting. If you can see all these various different bills and different places in the Congress, which you have your House of Representatives, you have your Senate, the first two out of the Senate. The other one is the bill that came out of the, the first two are out of the House of Representatives, which is your representative from your local district. And then you have your Senate, of course, where there are 50 Congress, 100 congressmen, 2 for every state. That's right. And in the Senate, they have their own legislative body, and they're out there doing what they need to do to make sure that they have some sort of legislation that they can agree on. Eventually, you have the House of Representatives, you have the United States Senate. They come to a conference on something that they both can agree on. They do a little wiggle. The hamburger gets made. They say, but out. That's what we're going to do. They vote and pass it. Then it goes to the president's desk for signature. But everyone who's a congressman, that's a senator or a representative, those are the people who represent the things that you believe in. And if you are unable to vote to get the people in representing you for the things that you believe in, then that's called voting. That's how you elect those people. So it is incredibly important that you spend time getting out there and voting, because if you don't vote, or if you're not registered, and if you're not calling your congressperson and letting them know whenever you see them, or getting it on the phone at least once a week at a minimum. But I say, hey, give them a call every morning, send them an email and say, I support H.R. 1. the freedom to vote. I'll say it again. HR 1 is the For the People Act. Say, I support the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and I support what's going on in the Senate right now that's called the Freedom to Vote Act. I support all these things. I want to make sure something gets done and they get passed so my voting rights are basically restored to where they were from 1965 and better. Why is that important for people who were like born way after that? Listen, your parents and your grandparents, well, listen, I was only 5 years old in 1965, but my dad and my grandparents and aunts and uncles, that generation before me, they didn't have that ability to vote. You guys seen those old movies or those old reels, some of them in color, some of them in black and white, where people are being intimidated from voting, literally being attacked by, their local government, or these extra terrorist organizations out there like the KKK and whatever, trying to stop African Americans from voting. The reason why they were trying to do that is for the reason I just said. None of this can happen, the good things you want, without having the ability to vote. And or they would do other things like how many jelly beans are in this jar, or recite the Constitution word for word, or it costs you $100 to vote. That's poll tax. Or if people were able to manipulate and get through that gauntlet course, and they still were going to vote, then they would just basically say, okay, we're going to come to your house. We're going to light a cross in front of your house. We're going to drag you out of there. We're going to hang you, kill you, burn you, whatever. We're going to run you out of town on a pole. If you can't get the message, we don't want you to vote. That's what they're going to do. That's what we got rid of, folks. We don't want that coming back. We don't want that sort of craziness happening in our country. So what you need to do is you need to get out there, tell your congressmen, we want these different voting rights legislation passed, and we want them on the president's desk, and we need to get them signed. Bottom line, foundational voting rights is what you have to have. You must have in order for you to be, or to have your voice heard in this country. Listen, it's just crazy. It's nuts. I'm here myself, folks. I don't have a beautiful co-host who's normally with me, beautiful and physical and beautiful in spirit, and just one heck of a businesswoman and Democrat, Erin Porcher, who's the interim Small Business Caucus chair out of the state of Louisiana. So I'm working all these different things by myself. So stay with me. But listen, we got a fantastic guest coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about him. I mean, this guest is incredible. His name is Tony Wood. But we'll talk about Tony in a minute. Let me tell you what's going on now, right? Voting rights. And that's what I want you to do. And right now, I guess, we would leave at this point and we'd go right into what we talk about in what's going on locally, or here in the state of Virginia, or the elections, the local elections that are happening in 2021. Okay, folks, listen, I'm just going to give it to you straight, no chaser. As Democrats, we have not done everything we need to do in order to make sure that our candidates win the election. As you may have heard by now, we did lose the election in Virginia. Yes, we did. We lost the gubernatorial election, which is a fancy word for saying the governor's office, lieutenant governor's office. And as well as I understand it, the attorney general is the highest lawyer in the country. I haven't gotten all the analysis and information, and I sound like, well, Mark, why are you so down? And he's talking all low. All of a sudden, where's your hypeness? I am still hyped about it. And I'm hyped about it because, listen, as I said to you earlier, I am still 6 feet above ground. And I gave you the quote from Nelson Mandela earlier. Everybody says something's impossible that can't get done until it actually gets done. Oh, now it doesn't seem impossible. Oh, you guys will never make it to the moon. Hey, we've been there quite a few times now. Man will never fly. Hey, we've had full voting rights before, unfettered voting rights before. So all these things we have been able to accomplish in the past. So I'm just telling people, you know, don't be disappointed because there's much that needs to get done. There's much that we have to continue to work on. And that's why we're out here. That's why we are currently being completely vigilant. Vigilant means, guess what? In Virginia, we have elections every year. Every year. You got to vote every year. You got to participate every year. There's either a federal election, there's some sort of state election, or there's some sort of local election. Which, you know, for people who are not involved in politics that much, or kind of may have been taking a little siesta during their senior government class, you have state senators, and you have which are like the same thing that you have in the federal government. And you also have delegates in Virginia, which are the same thing that you have in the federal government. They're called representatives. In the federal government, you have just plain senators, you get two. But in local government, you have multiple. We had over 100 state senator, not senator races, delegate races that were running. And the state senators, they weren't actually running this cycle, but they'll be running next cycle. So when I say cycle, I mean election cycle. So we're constantly either on a state level, a federal level, or on a local level, which would be your mayor or your local councilman, or whatever you want to call them. What they call them, different things in different states. But you know what? We had some victories out of there. And I'm going to give you a good post-mortem on this as soon as all the information comes in. But we know for a fact now we didn't do well in Virginia from the governor's standpoint, the statewide offices. We did fairly well in the House of Delegates, where there were 100 delegates running. And I'm going to give you an analysis of that next time. So, but for now, we did something that we hadn't done in quite a while, as we lost those statewide offices. But do not despair. There are strategies to continue to fight against those things we don't want to happen. And we will continue to do those as Democrats, as well-meaning folks who are supporting Democrats, as small businesses. So folks, hang in there. Don't worry about it. It's gonna get better. And it's already gotten better if you're hearing this message, because that means you're still here. And that means you can do something about it. So you just keep fighting the fight. You know, hey, you win some and you lose some. You have some undefeated seasons. You have some seasons where you may lose a couple of games, but you still may win the state championship. So stay there, continue to do what you're doing. Okay. We're going to get there. And usually I'm putting up pictures, but I just want to say this, just to let people understand. We had some fantastic candidates that were not successful this year, but in case you missed it, in case I see, whatever it is, here they are. We had Terry McAuliffe, we had Hala Ayala, and we had Mark Herring. They put up an incredible effort we did, not just them, but also we, on behalf of the Democratic Party in the state of Virginia. We want to give them a round of applause for the hard work that they did. We're not always successful, but we learn from some of the things that we're not successful on, and we keep moving. But you know what? From a small business perspective, we still have multiple things that we have to be out there fighting for. I don't care who's the governor. I don't care who else is there. We got to fight for those things. And some of the things, we have done well. Now, let me tell you what some of those things are. From the Democratic perspective, when we talk about what we've been able to get accomplished with fighting against COVID and trying to eradicate this terrible thing, over more than 190 million Americans have been vaccinated. The trending for people who are dying from COVID has trended down in the other directions. There are still different fights on, hey, I'm going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. You have to get a shot. You don't have to get a shot. This is a democracy. People have a right to their opinion. And sometimes people say things that are blatantly or completely untrue, or stuff that straight up that is not true. It's not true. The moon is not made of cheese. I don't care how much you say the moon is made of cheese. We know for a fact the moon is not made of cheese. But this is the nature of a democracy. People have the freedom of speech, the freedom to say all kind of crazy things, and people have a right to believe them and not believe them. But what we have to do is to continue to message and continue to get the people who are of like mind to believe in the things and to support the things in their actions that we get them elected. And we work hard to do that, to keep them in office. But we also work hard out there as activists and as voters and as volunteers. It takes a village to get this done. And it is something that never, ever stops. You have to continue to keep your the pedal to the metal, as they say, and not give the keys back to people, as they say, that have driven the car into the ditch. You don't get the ditch out and give it right back to the drunk guy only to drive it back into the ditch. And we have to do the things we need to do in order to make sure that people can participate, that people can do what they need to do. And, you know, and I'm out here kind of looking around, just kind of seeing the different things that are out there. You know, it's tough. I understand that, but just hang in there. Let me tell you a little bit. You know, and every week I try to remind people, listen, we had the $1.2 trillion American Rescue Plan that was out there that helped a lot of businesses to try to get back on top and to continue to scale and grow. We had the Paycheck Protection Program. We had the Economic Injury and Disaster Loan Program, which you can still apply for. And you also had the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program. And you also had the SBA Debt Relief Program for small businesses. And also there was the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. A lot of this money being programmed and managed by the Small Business Agency, legislation passed by the administration, the Joe Biden or the Biden and the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration, so that you would have the ability, if you're in business or want to get in business, to be able to pay your people, stay in business, get some loans that are going to sustain you through rough times because of COVID. Of course, this is no one else's, not their fault. But that's what government is there for. It's there to take care of everybody. It doesn't ask you, where do you sit, on the right side of the aisle or the left. It's like you're an American and you can avail yourselves of these programs. The same thing when we talk about voting rights. Everybody has the right to unfettered access to the vote to vote. In order to do that, I'm just going back to voting rights. And, by the way, you see, I got my shirt on here, here you go. There it is. This is what democracy looks like. I was at the march. I'm telling you, and all of it is about what? Voting rights. It's time to get out there and support and march on for voting rights. This is important. These are the things that we need to get done. And there's people out there in all walks of life helping to do that. And particularly folks who are, when I'm telling you about the small businesses, and I keep going back to voting rights because I know that's where we got to fight now. But small businesses are out there just trying to survive the whole COVID thing. There's so many different things that have affected how we're able to get things done here in the United States, from the COVID thing to people being children not being able to be at school full time, to how it's affected how we do business in so many different venues, to people trying to say, well, we've got people out there who are working with us as we try to turn the corner on this terrible disease, and how it's affected families and it's affected businesses and just affected, the regular routine of the quality of life. But listen, America is a special country in the sense that our people have always been able to get everything done, or the old joke is, they'll try everything. When they've tried all the wrong things, then the next thing they do is they eventually get to the right thing. And what I'm trying to tell you is, hang in there, folks. Hang in there. As long as you continue to fight, as long as you continue to do the things that you need to do, do not be despair. Do not have despair. you know, a lot of times, you know, I'm an old athlete, old football player. I play a little basketball too, you know, ran a little bit of track back in the day, mostly football. You don't win all your games, but you know what? You can't lose something mentally, because if they can mentally defeat you or get you to just sort of quit, any general can tell you the best war they fight is a war they can convince the enemy not to fight. If they can demoralize them and get them to just, you know, walk away and just say, here, here's my weapon, I'm just going to walk away, I'm not going to fight. Of course, if you're going to fight that kind of war, it's the best kind of war. Nobody dies, nobody gets hurt, and you just get to take over. But we can't just walk away from our families, right? We can't just walk away from the people that we love and the things that we believe in and the things that have helped to, we believe, to make this country as great as it has been in the past and how even greater than it can be in the future. We have to continue to do the things that we've always done in order to, excuse me, overcome the challenges that we've had here in this country. Excuse me a second as I look over to the side, and I have to kind of set up a couple of things. I'm working my little technology by myself here. You know, I got to get it done some kind of way. But listen, folks, you know, we're still waiting on our guests to get here. They may get here a little bit late. I'm checking my phone and the other things. We usually are going to have them on about the half-hour point in the show, but they haven't gotten here yet. I'm going to talk about them a little more once I know our guest is actually here. But let's continue to talk about what's going on here in the country. And here, I can't talk about what's going on maybe specifically in other areas or other hosts in here. But, you know, I can just tell you, you know, I'm not in any way concerned that we can't get this going in the right way, because as a lot of people say, you may have heard them say in the past, is your downtime is your planning time, or your downtime is your prep time. While things are not happening the way you want it and things are moving a little slow because you got a little more extra time, well, that's when you should be prepping. That's what you should be, when you should be strategizing and working with coalitions and working with people of like-mindedness in order to rebound, because there is going to be another election, like we say in Virginia every year, but most other places, there's elections every 2 years, every 4 years, every 6 years. And in between that, you have all the other different things from local government to the presidency or federal government. When we talk about the big one every 4 years. Don't be despaired, folks. Just hang in there and do what you need to do. There's a lot of good planning, other things that are going on. So we're trying to make sure folks can do what they need to do. And also, I'm filling in a little bit of time, talking, running my mouth as we wait for our fantastic guests to get here. I mean, do I have any comments? What's going on with people out there? Let's see. Anybody saying anything to me? Don't see it yet. Now, one of the things I want to add a little bit later here to what we do is I want to be able to add in the ability for people to call and to sort of give their opinions and to respond to them. But we're kind of getting there as we kind of fix our technology. We're just starting off, so we're kind of working with what we got. So as we continue to work what we're trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm just kind of checking on my guests, see whether or not they're on their way or something else is going on. We're working that. So listen, one of the things, okay, I understand. Okay, I see my guest is having technical issues. I'm going to work something here real quick for him. Hang in there with me, folks. While I get him to, wait a minute, he may need something in addition. Okay. All right. Here it is. Let me make sure he has this particular piece of information. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Stay with me, folks, as I'm trying to help my guest who's having some technical difficulty, but we're going to get him in here. We just need to help him out here with something real quick. All right, let's see here. Well, I tell you, man, this live stuff, you never know. sometimes you gotta do some things a little bit off camera, but hang in there with me, folks, as we try to get this all done here and get our guest on the show. And I'm going to get rid of that. And okay, all right. Wait a minute. Here we go. I'm going to try to make sure we get all this stuff here working here. Hang with me, folks. Hang with me. We'll get it done. Just a little bit of technical difficulty. We want to have this guest on the show, so we sometimes have to work some things out here. And let's get rid of that. All right, let's see whether we can get this to him. All right. Okay, let's see here. All right. All right. And let me try the other thing here. Folks, I want to try to play the video or the song for one of the things that we're working here, but I really want to hold off on that and try to see whether or not we can still work with our guest when he gets here. But let me tell you a little bit about him as he continues to sort of to try to work things out here. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Let's see if this helps him. All right, and yeah, we'll see whether he gets in here. But listen. The guest that we have on really is a fantastic gentleman, and I'm going to talk a little bit about him now. The guest we have who's having some technical difficulties you can have sometimes, you never know. You even have him on the big channels. His name is Tony Wood. Tony Wood is a fantastic guy. This gentleman is actually, and I'm going to put his promo up here while I'm talking about him so you can see who he is. There he is. There's Tony Wood. Tony Wood is born and raised in Southeast Washington, D.C., where he is a resident who survived a kidney transplant back in during COVID-19 and during the pandemic in 2020. Also, Tony has along with his son Junior, have a vibrant group of musicians and a new track that they put out there in video that I was hoping I was going to be able to play tonight, but we're gonna get it going one way or the other. And he's got a new track out there with he and his band have put together. It's called When We Gonna Get It Right, which is really kind of just real timely for what's happening now, you know. And it's a fantastic track. I think it dropped out there, he said, in around about April. But Tony's message in this track just resonates with a variety of listeners and a variety of political and social issues that we're going to be dealing with now. And we have been dealing with. I think that's really kind of inspired him as an artist to really put this track together. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, man, we got to have this brother on the show. We have to bring Tony and have him on the show because he's really kind of tapping on all the things that are important. And one of the other things that I tell people, well, Tony's saying it here, even in his bio that I'm reading to you, don't be dismayed and frustrated by what's been happening in America. Tony, as an accomplished musician and songwriter, he felt compelled to get this information out to people. Soulful lament for unity and for getting people out there and working together. A track called When We Gonna Get It Right. And it's an incredible track. I'm going to at least be able to play the music for you tonight. We may not be able to do a video, but let me give you a little more background on Tony. Tony also wrote a tribute to Chuck Brown back in 2012, who's known as the godfather of go-go. People probably have heard of Chuck Brown if they're have been listening to music and just know this brother created a whole genre of music. He led it as a godfather and a DC resident, Chuck Brown. And there's been several other groups that have come after him. Back in 2020, and also did something called Adjust Your Color, which was used in a documentary about another fantastic DC personality on the radio called P.D. Green. And there's also was a movie that was also along the same lines with P.D. Green called Talk to Me, and had fantastic people in it like Taraji P. Henson and Donnie Don Cheadle, other great actors that were in that movie that did such a great job. You get a chance to see it, check it out. Tony's music also stems from the legendary go-go sound of DC, as I said. And when the musicians who were on We're Gonna Get It, when We're Gonna Get It Right, work with other artists, the same people who you'll hear in this track. Folks, like I said, Chuck Brown, the legendary Prince, Herbie Hancock, jazz artist. Everybody knows Prince. And Parliament Funkadelic. So just a few of the people that he's worked with. And then if you are interested in seeing his music, you go to www.whenwegonnagetitright.com and you can see the video. And folks, I also want to take this time now to be able to, bring on this fantastic guest that we have here. And he is a fantastic guest, Mr. Tony Woods. I'm getting ready to bring him on screen in a minute. But, I want to bring this brother on the right way because he's done so much. When I bring him on, I just want to play his track for him because we had some technical difficulties ourselves and we weren't able to get the video up. But we want you to hear this music that he has, and it's been fantastic. So as I bring up Tony, he's going to be coming up in a second. You're going to hear his track. Okay, there it is, folks. Yeah. So, without further ado, I want to bring him up. Oh, come on, hang with me a minute. We're going to just soak this a little bit because this track is an incredible track. I mean, this brother, Tony Woods, when we going to get it right? Hey, drop it as I bring Tony on. Hey, what's going on, Tony?
What's up, Jelani? How you doing?
Put your volume up. Make sure we can hear you, man.
Man, put the crank it. Yeah.
Folks, if you're unfamiliar, this is DC Go-Go.
That's it, Lonnie. That's it, Jelani.
This is fantastic. Tony Woods. He put this together along with his son, Tony Woods Jr. Just let you see him again. There's the picture. Now he's back. I just want to get to that hook.
Yeah.
We'll get to the hook in a minute, Tony. Once we get to that hook, I'm going to go to you. Go ahead and listen. Come on.
Yeah. I see you, Jelani.
Oh, beautiful. Well, hey, Tony, listen, man. When I first heard that track, man, that track was fire. And the video, which I am so upset about that I cannot play the video because I am not technically inclined to make it happen.
But hey, Jelani, that's all right. They can go. They can go to the Tony Wood Tony Wood when we gonna get it right.com or even YouTube.
There you go.
They can go to YouTube and ADW Music LLC, and they can see the video. They can pull the video.
I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to put this on screen because we're going to. I found out later I had to do some sort of clip to get it into the stream. I thought I could just do something like the Zoom session and just show it on the other screen.
Yeah.
So,
but
I'm just playing my day, man.
Trust me, man. It's all good, man, because I appreciate you so much, man, for, again, man, just appreciating the music, the message.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work went into that, man. The fellows on there, man, got just a great group of guys.
Yeah.
And then my executive producer, Marianne Brody, based out of in Palm Springs, Florida.
Right.
Palm Beach, Florida. And she was like a bull driving this thing, man. So,
man, we're going to play this video. Trust me. We're going to play it. It may not get played today. We're going to host it on our platforms. We're also going to have feedback on it. We're going to do another section of it. But folks, the videos are incredible. And just to make sure you know where to get it, it's go to www.whenwegonna, that's GONNA, getitright.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we gonna get it right.com. You can go to what Tony Woods, which is also, that's Tony Wood, not an S, just Tony Wood. And you can go ahead and you can pull it up that where either at from his label. But Tony, I'm gonna stop talking for a minute because I'm just excited to have you on the show, man. And I want you just sort of, I don't think I gave you justice because I really want you to talk about all the great things that you've been doing for many years and just sort of give your own bio, man. Go ahead and go with it.
Well, you know what, Jelani, man, I mean, God is good, man. I've been blessed, man. I've been, you know, to get the projects like the Peter Green project coming behind the movie Talk to Me. That probably the proudest thing was writing that tribute for Chuck Brown, man, because Chuck is my culture, man. You know, I was born and raised here in DC, Southeast DC, and Chuck meant so much to DC, the DMV.
Mm-hmm.
He was more than the music, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a icon, and everything I try to do, all my music, man, is gonna have that sound, that pocket, that you know. I work with my producer, Funky Ned, Mike Neal.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know Ned.
Yeah, that's my man. We've been working together, man, for like 20 years, man. And
hey, Tony, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because people are probably saying, "Who's this guy, Jelani?" He keeps calling him. Hey, my friends call me Jelani, and that's the name of some of the stuff when I work in the entertainment industry. So, folks, if you hear him say Jelani, he's actually talking about Mark.
Oh, you know, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that, Mark. You know, I'm so used to it.
No, you got Jelani's fine, man. I just making sure people are like they're wondering, like, who's he talking about?
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Jelani and I, we've been knowing each other for about 20-something years, Jelani, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. Yeah.
Man, and man, always just a solid brother, man. Always appreciate. And when I ran into you, I was just so happy to run into you. And you asked me, you know, because we were talking about another one of my songs you were talking about. I can't remember.
Right, exactly.
And I said, Jelani, man, I just dropped this powerful piece. You know, it's got some political ties, but no matter what your political preference is, the message of the song, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got to come together. Things will get better when we come together. I know it's a hard thing that, you know, some people just don't want to get it right. But
they don't.
In order to pull through what we going through,
right,
man, we got to come together and get rid of all that evil, all that division. You know what I mean? Because what inspired me to write that song, Jelani, was I actually wrote that song when President Obama was in office.
Really? You wrote it then?
I wrote that song, and we did the music. A good friend of mine passed away, keyboard player, you know, Byron Jackson, BJ.
Okay.
And, just an awesome person. And I dedicated the song to him because that's the only song that I've done that he wasn't on. But
oh, really?
Yeah. So we did the song, and you know, Ned and I, we came in, and Federico Pena, one of the producers, great guy.
Right.
And so we did the song, but I held on to it because I wanted the music I had at first was a little happy, you know, beep 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 beep, and I wanted a little more edge to it to match that, the message of the song.
Right.
So I came back, you know, years held on to it, did some other stuff, and then I called Ned one day. I was like, man, I'm hearing this groove. So I called him, and we locked right in, and I gave it to him. And but during the time when President Obama was in office, my whole thing was like, man, every time he want to try to get something done, the other half just want to fuss and fight about it. They don't, you know, it's not even about the people. It's not even about helping the people. It's about what can we do to not let him succeed.
Exactly.
You feel me? So then, but not only that, Jelani, I looked at, I said, and I'm tired of us killing each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The crime. So that's what that's what motivated me to do the song, man. Seeing us kill each other, you know, and not want to help lift each other up. And the fact that the political tide came from when I'm saying people don't want to work together, it's sad, man, how they just, you know, that the other side's job is to make the other side look as crazy as possible.
Right.
And we the people suffer. You feel me? We the ones that suffer.
Right.
So,
Well, but let me make sure I understand what you're trying to say. Is like in any community where there may be any violence, people don't leave and ride across town and go to another state. Well, we do have some crazy kid that's in court now who did do that, but most cases where there's violence and stuff, the violence happens in the communities where they live. And I know that's what you're saying, but most of us, when I say us, I say African Americans or Black people, however you want to use the term. I prefer African Americans.
right.
Listen, we're not incarcerated. We're not killing each other. We're raising our kids, taking care of them, putting them through college, and taking care of grandma and granddad, or vice versa. So, brother, I understand it. I mean, we are a diverse group of people who are getting it done on many levels. Small business owners, you name it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we don't need us. Yeah.
We do. I'm sorry. We do have that, but we got that undercurrent that's trying to take that away from each other. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got the small business. We got the strong brothers like yourself, and we got the strong sisters, and I mean, and just period. You know, but we still got that undercurrent that wants to just don't want to do right, don't want to get it right.
Well, I tell you that, and it's not just in, you know, like you said, I know you're not saying not just our community, but all communities. People who don't want to do better when they know better. That's how I like to say it. When you know better, you should do better. If we all know that everybody deserves voting rights and ability to give their opinion, everybody deserves not to be discriminated against, everybody deserves the ability to have good health care, to work and get a decent education for themselves and their children, and live in a home, and just basic things. Why would anyone be against that?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole thing, man. I was brought up on those values, man. My mom just passed in May, man. And man, she and her and my dad, man, they did a great job. I'm grounded, man. I'm so grounded that you know, I mean, everything you hear in that song is what I'm about. That, you know what I'm saying? I'm about, you know, the equal, treating everybody equal. You know, you shouldn't think that you're better than somebody else. So, everything that song is talking about, you know, it's coming out of me.
Was
Jelani?
People don't know. That's me and my lousy technical producer. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. So people don't know, man, because some people don't know because they haven't seen the video. But the video is compelling. You mentioned you had a great editor from HBO Home Box Office who put that together. Who selected the images and the clips? And was that you? You did it in concert with your video?
Actually, my executive producer Marianne Brody had a huge part in that. But we had this producer Greg Sutherland from out of Queens, New York. He worked with Bayside TV. He was the producer. And then, like I said, Christopher Cone, he was. I mean, everybody had a part of it, but Marianne was like, you know, the executive producer, Marianne Brody.
Right.
She was hard. I mean, she was very detailed. And when she told him, you know, she said, look, listen to the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is listen to the song, and we can put this thing together.
Right.
You know, so she had a very, very, very large part in that. So it was a team effort. You dig what I'm saying? You know, we would get on a Zoom call, and they'd be in New York, and Marianne, she's in Florida, I'm here in DC, and man, and you go to work, man. They showed me the stuff, and I'm like, man, okay, boom, man, that's good. And you know, it was, like I said, it was a team effort, man, just great.
Everybody who I've played this song for, and the video has so much impact. I mean, the music's fantastic too. Your son raps in the song, so you got the hip hop piece, you got the go-go piece, you're singing on the song, and then you have these incredible images and clips, man. And I'm just sorry we can't show it. But what I want to do is I'm going to have you back, and we will have an ability to show the video while we're doing it. One thing about this technology, it allows you to do clips. It doesn't do that Zoom thing, man, which I'm like, what do you mean? I can't share another screen.
Right.
I'm not trying to do it.
Hey, but hey, Jelani,
Yeah.
man, hey, look, the love you showing is awesome. It's awesome. Even though you can't show that video, trust me, man, because I think that we've gotten the video to some great people. I won't call no names, but we got it to some great people. And when they get back with us, they say same thing. Powerful song, powerful video.
Oh, incredible.
So we just waiting for somebody to make a move on it.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of time. That's how I feel. It's a matter of time.
You know, some of the other projects, and I know we want to definitely talk about the project you've got here now, which is a great project. But you've done a lot of other projects too. You mentioned a little bit about the other stuff, but give people a little more idea of some of these other projects that you worked on, so people kind of understand how, you've been in the business a long time. You've worked with a lot of fantastic artists, and your band has worked with some great artists. Give us a little more background on that, man.
Well, again, like I was saying, just like writing a long time, man, and but like the project that you're saying with the movie, coming behind the movie, Talk to Me, and Pelagius Films, just working with getting to meet Dewey Hughes and Kathy Hughes and some great people, and
well, the people probably not everybody knows who those people are you just spoke of. You're talking about Kathy Hughes with Radio 1 and a gazillion television and radio stations, and locally here started in DC at WOL on 8th Street. I'll let you fill it out a little bit more, man. Petey Green, one of the greatest talk show artists ever, and started right here in DC. Was an ex-convict, ex-offender who got out, did well. I think where he was in Lorton, right? When Lorton was still open.
That's right.
A couple of my cousins were in Lorton.
Well, you know what? It's not a secret, but
it's not a secret.
Him and Chuck was down there together, and you know what? Chuck loved Petey, man.
Chuck Brown.
I feel so. Yeah, Chuck Brown. I feel so. John, I feel so proud, man, because me growing up in DC. And those are two of my icons. You dig what I'm saying? Petey Green and Chuck. And I've had the opportunity to do songs for both of them. I mean, powerful songs. The tribute I did for Chuck Brown, before Chuck passed, me and Chuck talked about. Chuck asked me to write him a song, and I was so upset when he passed that I didn't get him that song, Jelani. Because when I don't write music down. It comes to me in my head. Man upstairs give it to me. And in the day Chuck passed, man, I sat in my living room and I cut everything off, and it was like he was talking to me. Yeah. So how I wrote the song is like he's talking to everybody from heaven.
Right.
The piece is so powerful, man.
It's so powerful.
It's like the fact that I was able to do that. And then do something with the Petey Green project, which was a motion picture with Don Cheadle, Taraji, and
Don Cheadle, Taraji,
Mike Epps was in it.
Michael Epps that's right, he was in it.
That's the entertainer, Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
some other great people in there. It was great. It was a great cast.
And I remember my Aunt Barbara, as I was telling you before in our song. I mean, my family. My grandmother's house is right off 8th Street in DC. She bought that home on H and 11th, right next to the Catholic Church, Holy Name.
Yeah.
And that was always the family focal spot. And my mother's sister, my Aunt Barbara, she, as I told you, her name was Lady Wildfire, and she worked with Kathy Hughes and WL right there on 8th Street for many years. Petey Green. It's just so much that you've seen in the last 30 years. Okay, 40. I guess 30 is not even long enough. Where so much has changed in that area. You've worked with so many people who went on to become icons. I just want to say about Chuck. Whenever I was in the studio with Chuck, have a chance to talk with him. I mean, he was just a down-to-earth guy, always willing to help people. him, or you remember Steve Biondo's studio you used to work in, or at Black Pond,
yeah,
all those places, man. There's
yeah,
groups,
man.
you know, DJ Cool and all.
Yeah, DJ Cool. Matter of fact, that's where I
Yeah.
ran back into you at DJ Cool's premiere for his new song Cha Cha.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Cha-cha.
Yeah, and that night was magical to me, man, because I saw so many cats, man, that I hadn't seen in such a long time.
Right.
You know, so that was great. And then when I ran into you there, Jelani, I was like, oh my goodness, man, this is like, it was a blessing, man. It was a blessing because as long as I've known you, man, you've always been doing great things.
I appreciate it, man.
You're an inspiration to me, man.
Come on, man. Come
You're an
on.
inspiration to me. So I'm telling you, man. So it's like, and it's like, I think I met you. You know what? I think Mellow T introduced us to each other.
It was Mellow. It was DJ Mellow T. Yeah.
Mellow T, the legendary Mellow T.
Spokesperson for Ben's Chili Bowl. I got to give him his props, and he's got his track out there, the Mellow T Slide dance song. So, yeah, I'm giving everybody some love. I'll give him a little promo. It's all
Absolutely.
good.
That's why I brought him up. You know what I'm saying? But he's a hardworking brother, man. He's a hardworking brother. And
yes, he is.
He got a good heart. He got a good heart on him.
You got a lot of good people, good, decent people that I've met through the years in the business. You know, even folks like DC Scorpio, one of the first rappers out of DC, and there's so many more who come after him. So
I got a piece. I got a powerful piece I did with him like years ago. If I play it today, it's bumping. So
hey, listen,
Scorpio is one of the first artists, you know,
right?
But Jelani, you know what, man? I know I didn't get into. Let me say this right here, man. I didn't really get into, and I'm apologize for as far as a lot of the stuff that I've done. But
right.
I don't. It's hard, it's hard talking about me. You dig what I'm saying?
I mean, know people don't want to talk about themselves.
You know, it's like, man, I just thank God for everything, man, that he put on me. And when I get it, man, I feel good about the music that I put out because it's always gonna have that DC sound. But
right.
I want to come with some powerful messages, man. I want to come with some stuff to make us think, man, to make you think.
Right.
And not this popcorn stuff. Because we got some great, man, we got amazing talent around here, man. Amazing talent. So
go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
I would say just the groups I love Sugar Bear and all them, and I like the ladies, Belladonna, the ladies, man. I like what they represent, Sweet Cherie and that crew, and we don't give them enough credit for real, but it's just so much talent, man. I can't even start it. We won't have enough time for me to start naming these folks, but I just appreciate everybody what they're doing. As long as you representing Chuck Brown. That's what it's all about. We got to keep that legacy alive.
Those are the sort of things. But what I really like about some of the artists from Washington, from DC, and from whatever part they're from, a lot of them from Southeast, Northeast, Northwest. Give everybody their props, Southwest.
That's right.
All throughout the city. Let's just say the DMV, as we call it now, because it's all the DMV, for people who don't know, it is the Washington, D.C., or the District, Maryland, and Virginia. Yeah. We just had a tough time here in Virginia with a lot of the stuff that we'd like to work on, that we try to get done here in Virginia. But one of the things I do appreciate is artists like yourself and other ones we named are willing to work with people like myself and willing to work with people who are doing the right thing. And the fact that we'd love to have you guys maybe come out and play music or host an event or something out here to sort of promote or get things done. And at the same time, we'd like to be able to support you. And we appreciate all the support that you've given us through the years, all the fantastic music that you've done locally, and the artists and people you've helped grow. And man, before we leave, I want you to tell me, what is your favorite thing or your personal thing that you really want to try to get done that is kind of like your personal pet project? Then after that, I'm going to have you give your social handles so people know how to get you on social media.
Well, you know what? I got the major thing I want to do. July, I don't know if you know, 5 years ago, I had a kidney transplant.
Okay.
I had a kidney transplant 5 years ago, and the amazing process. My son Tony, that's on the video, his mom donated the kidney.
Oh wow!
And it's
love.
Yeah, man. You know, we had been separated like for 7 or 8 years when she did that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people say, Tony, you know what, man, you must be a good guy for her to do that. You know what I tell them, Janani? No, she is the better person. For her to do that. For her to do that for me. I appreciate what you're saying about me, but she is the one.
She's the one who gave up the kidney.
She did. So Sheila Lowe's, man, my son's mother, she donated the kidney. But I said, the next, well, not the next, but the show I want to do, man, I want to put something together, man. And
oh, geez, hold on. You still there? Okay, don't worry. I didn't want to lose you, but go ahead, man. We're a little bit over time, but keep going.
I want to do something for the Kidney Foundation. I want to bring awareness about donors. We need, you know, the Black community, man. We need donors, man. We need donors because it's not a joke, man. And we can save some lives. You know what I mean?
And a lot of folks are on kidney dialysis, man. So many.
It's so many, man. It's a high rate. It's a high rate here in this.
Of African Americans across the country, people of color. Period. I hate using that term, but there's a lot of people really across the community, regardless of what your heritage or gender is. You're right. It's a good thing to be on, man. No doubt about it. Let me know what we can do to support you. Yes. But before we go, man, I want people to know how they can get you. So you tell me again, give me those social media handles, man.
Yeah, we got Tony Wood at TonyWood when we gonna get it right.com. And if you go to YouTube and want to check out the video, just go to ADW Music LLC. ADW Music LLC.
Right.
And it'll take you straight to that video.
Or even if they put in the title of your video, when we gonna get it right, it should take you right to it.
When we go, the Tony Wood, that'll take you to the website. We got a clothing line coming. I gotta get you some stuff, Jelana. So you can bump it. But it's Tony Wood when we gonna get it right.com.
What about Instagram? What are you on Instagram, real quick?
My Instagram is and I don't even know, it's Tony Wood.
Don't worry about it. Twitter, you put your name, Tony Wood, no S.
No
when
S.
We're gonna get it right, you'll take you right to it. Tony's been out there getting it done. Hey, let me tell you, folks, you got to see this video. It is a fantastic video. It's going a little bit over time, but listen, this track is get it right.
Hey, Jelani, again, man.
What's that, Tony?
I appreciate you so much, man.
Huh?
I said again, I appreciate you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man.
We're gonna have you back on just to intro the video, okay?
Keep up the great work.
Hey man, you keep up the good work too. Thanks, Tony. Be good, brother. See ya. And thank you for coming out and for tuning in to I almost said to the Virginia Democratic Small Business Caucus Show. And live all the time with a great guest, Tony Wood, and his latest track. You gotta see the video. When are we gonna get it right? All right, brother. Be good. Take care.
Thanks, Jelani.
I'm gonna let this just play out a little bit.
My man.